Welcome to Madlik. My name is Jeffrey Stern, and at Madlik we light a spark or shed some light on a Jewish text or tradition. Along with Rabbi Adam Mintz, we normally host Madlik Disruptive Torah on your favorite podcast panel and now on YouTube and Substack. Tonight, I'm going solo. We also publish a source sheet on Sefaria, and a link is included in the show notes. We're just a few days before Passover, and like you, I'm preparing and sharing insights. I'm excited to share a few Madlik insights on the Haggadah that I hope enhance your Seder as they will mine. This mini episode number 1, it could be considered the prequel. We'll be talking about the first pages of the traditional Haggadah that are not even part of the service. Open almost any traditional Haggadah and you'll find something that doesn't quite make sense. Before Kaddish, before Halach Ma'anya, before the story begins, you'll often see the text of bitul chametz. All leaven in my possession shall be nullified and become like the dust of the earth. Kol chamira v'chamia de'ikar b'reshute di bital leo ka'afra da'ara. There's just one problem. We don't say it, at least not at the Seder. So why is it there? Why does the Haggadah begin with a ritual we already performed? Unless it's not just a ritual. We tend to think the Seder is about telling a story. But what if it's about doing something more radical? What if it's about reframing reality, actually changing us? Because if you go back to the Torah, you'll notice something really subtle. The Torah says, on the first day you shall remove leaven from your homes. Ach b'yom harishon tashbitu seor mibatechem. But the rabbis, for a reason we will suggest in the next Haggadah note, move the act earlier, the night before, the morning before. Or la'arba asa botkim et chametz la'or haner. By the time we sit down for the Seder, it's all done. And yet, the Haggadah still puts it right at the beginning. Maybe the Haggadah is telling us this isn't preparation, this is part of the message. Because Pesach is built on a contrast. Matzah is flat, simple, uninflated. Chametz, rising, expanding, puffed up. The Zohar says chametz is the Yetzer Hara. Chassidut says chametz is yesh, ego. Matzah is bitul, self-nullification. Torah Or says chametz represents selfhood and matzah represents self-nullification. And then comes the radical part. The Talmud says simple nullification is sufficient. Bitul ba'alma sagi. Meaning if you just are mevatel in your mind and you don't remove anything and you don't change anything, it's done. We really are talking about something that happens inside of us, in our minds. And we declare, let it be nullified like dust. This is as much about a change of mindset as a spring cleaning. This is not symbolic. This is legal. You take something real and declare it has no power. And then the rabbis say something even more powerful. Rabbi Alexandri teaches in the Talmud Bavli and Pesachim that we say before we pray, not at the Seder, but every day, Ribon ha'olamim, Master of the universe, it is revealed and known before you that our will is to do your will. What prevents us? The leaven in the dough and the subjugation to the nations. May it be your will to save us from them so that we may return to fulfilling your will with a complete heart. It is the leaven in the dough that leads us astray. 2 obstacles, one external, one internal. Egypt and the ego, which means we can leave Egypt and we still may not be free. Because the real slavery isn't just what's done to you, it's what happens inside of you. That's why Musa says the humble person considers themselves as nothing, ka'ayin. And we pray, may my soul be like dust, v'nafshi ka'afar l'chol tehiyah. Dust isn't nothing, it's freedom from needing to be something. Bitul doesn't mean erase you, but it frees you. And then something amazing happens. You zoom out and you realize this isn't just Pesach. Twice a year, Judaism begins with the same move. On Pesach, we nullify chametz. On Kol Nidre, on Yom Kippur, you stand and say, also in Aramaic, right before the service also, you begin with a legal formula. Kol Nidre, not Kol Chamira, but Kol Nidre. And you say, it all should be batlin or muvutalin. All vows that we have vowed, sworn or declared, all of them shall be permitted, forgiven, batlin or muvutalin, nullified and annulled. 2 nights, 2 declarations, same idea. Judaism begins redemption the same way every time, by letting go. We think freedom means more control, more resources, more options. Pesach says no. Freedom begins when you can say, I don't need this. There's a line from Bob Dylan. It's called in the Rolling Stone. It says, when you got nothing to lose. That might be the essence of matzah, this poor man's bread. He's got nothing, and he's got nothing to lose. It combines both the poverty of someone who has nothing with the liberation of somebody who has nothing to lose. And maybe that's why the Haggadah begins with a ritual we no longer perform at the Seder. Because without that moment, that act of letting go, you can't leave Egypt without it. That's one Madlik thought for your Seder. Wishing you a Chag, Kosher v'Sameach, and a night that's truly transformative.